So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to take a quick look at our newest Sentinel that was released with the latest update, the Railjack focused Nautilus. So first things first, you get the parts for Nautilus from the Neptune Proxima, more specifically the Ice Mines bonus objective that you can find in each mission there. With the parts having about a 6% chance to drop, and you will have to get a blueprint, the Cerebrum, the Carapace, and a set of systems. The base stats on the Nautilus are 50 armor, 200 health, and 100 shields. And it also comes with its own weapon, which is the Verglas. Now this is a beam weapon that does 26 cold damage per damage tick. It has terrible crit chance, but it has a really good 34% status chance and high fire rate. Now, as I said already, Nautilus is a Railjack focused Sentinel, so its first precept, which is called Auto Omni, gives it a 100% chance to deal with any hazard on your Railjack with a 20-second cooldown. Now, it does specifically say that it will repair hull damage and extinguish fires, but I found that it also works on the frozen doors, though there's usually a bit of delay before the Nautilus realizes that there is something wrong and it needs to be fixed. The other stuff, that being hull breaches as well as fires, do seem to be fixed instantly though, if the cooldown is up of course. And the second precept is called Cordon. Now this will target a random enemy, and it will, with a 15-second cooldown, drag in all the enemies from within 30 meters of that enemy. It is actually surprisingly effective. I mean, look at that. That's pretty nice. Now, I ended up using a pretty straightforward setup on the Nautilus that's not too expensive, and you can make it even cheaper if you don't run primed mods on it. So we started off with Auto Omni, of course. This gives you essentially like a pocket engineer, so you might not want to run this if you already have an engineer on the ship, but if you don't, this is basically a free way to repair stuff because it doesn't consume anything. Then we have some defense with calculated redirection and enhanced vitality. I didn't run Metal Fiber because he doesn't have all that much armor, so I didn't think it was that helpful. Then of course I have to run Primed Animal Instinct. This is a mod that I just can't play without anymore. The loot radar and enemy radar are just too good. Then we have Cordon for the larva-esque effect. This is absolutely fantastic, and I would run it 100% of the time if you're gonna run the Nautilus. Then of course we go with the Vacuum, because why would you not run Vacuum on a companion? We follow that up with Mediray for the extra healing, Assault Mode so that the Sentinel actually attacks stuff, Coolant Leak, which gives you a 3-meter chilling aura that slows the enemies by 10%. This is great against melee enemies, so I like to run it on my Sentinels. And we top it off with Primed Regen, which if the Sentinel is killed, it will regenerate it up to 3 times. Now for the Verglas, I am running a more of a utility-based setup that also does some damage. I've seen some people run pure damage on this, but I just like to run utility on my Sentinels weapon. So we start with Split Chamber for multi-shot, and then we have all 3 of the Vigilante mods, so armaments for the multi-shot, fervor for the fire rate, and supplies for the ammo mutation. The main reason these are here, even though they do help the Sentinel, is for the set bonus, because even though these are on a Sentinel weapon, they still apply to you, so we still get that 15% chance to enhance crits from primary weapons. Though this of course only applies if you actually use primary weapons and you don't go full melee or you use secondary weapons. So if you're using primary weapons, this is something you should get used to doing. Just put the Vigilante mods on your Sentinel's weapon and get a free bonus that way. And for the second half of the weapon, we go with Malignant Force and Rhyme Rounds for status and viral, Rifle Aptitude for even more status, and finally Sinister Reach to increase the range of the weapon so it matches better with the actual attack range of the Sentinel. This is honestly pretty unnecessary because the base range of the weapon is 24 meters and the Sentinel engages at 30, so you're only getting 6 extra meters of range, but you know, I kind of like it, but you can kind of put whatever you want in there. You don't have to use Sinister Reach. Now, one of the coolest things about the Verglas, I think, is its ability to proc a ton of status insanely fast. Like, you're basically insta-procking 10 viral effects on the enemy as soon as the beam connects. It's just nuts, and you can proc even more status if you take out something like the Sinister Reach or another mod and put in an additional dual stat mod on top of what you already have. And finally, the damage it does, even with the support setup that I have, is pretty good. So if you focus it strictly towards damage, it will actually do some serious DPS. So all in all, both Nautilus and the Verglas are really good. The only issue with these two is that Nautilus is a Sentinel, so it will eventually get whittled down by the enemies and it will explode if you're in a high enough mission, and you will lose it for that mission. But other than that, the stats are not too shabby, the precepts are both good, and the weapon is really nice as well. So if you weren't sure whether or not you want to get Nautilus and try it out, I would definitely recommend you do so. It is quite nice, and that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed it and it was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.